back to my kitchen, Gigi's Kitchen. And today we're going to talk about nachos. We love nachos and it's game day. So I'm thinking nacho bar. So basically it's kind of like a taco bar. You just set everything up, but they come in, get what they want, fix it like they want, put it in the toaster oven, toast their cheese up, and then they go watch the game. It's really pretty easy. It just takes prep work, as all things do. Now, I will say that I have already put my pork butt in here. I added my Mexican seasoning, a good 2 to 3 tablespoons. I coated it really well and put it in here, and then I put it on pressure cook for about an hour and 15 minutes. Then I pulled it apart and ran it for another 15 minutes. I also added some corn on the cob in here once I got to the end, and then I ran it for about another 5 minutes. So it was, in parts, but it came through just fine. So just wanted to get on with it. And our toppings, we'll have corn. They can either take it off the cob and sprinkle it on there, or just eat their corn on the cob on the side. I've got black beans, sour cream, tomatoes with green chilies. These are canned tomato green chilies. I've got jalapenos and diced white onion. And back here I have the chips. Now I was out shopping, and of course I came across these green ones, which I'd never seen green chips before. I thought, oh, that's fun. It's supposed to be tasting like guacamole. They are pretty good. Some blue and some yellow to pile on. And these are going to be what we call Volcano, where you build them up and then you take them out. We have a definition for those. They are called disorganized nachos. And so if you want organized nachos, which you're welcome to do when you build your nachos, you take one chip, you put your cheese on it, your meat on it, your jalapeno, and you set it down, and then you make a tray of them, and those are called organized nachos. But these are Volcano nachos. They've got everything going on them, everything you could ever want piled on the top of them. I've got 2 kinds of cheese over here we're going to use. I have melty cheese for the Volcano, so that when you pour it in layers, they stick together and it helps hold them together. You don't want it too thin, or you'll end up with soggy chips. But I also have mild cheddar that's been grated. You can get it out of the box. You can get whatever kind you want. I have a little bit of jalapeno pepper, Monterey Jack. This is for the corn. Put my towel back on. And then of course I've got the Mexican seasoning that goes on everything. And then I'll leave it out here. They can add more if they want or not. I also have a small bowl of guacamole that I'll finish up and show you how we do that once we finish. So then we will have all our toppings together. We'll build our nachos, stick them in the toaster oven, get them nice and toasty and melty, and then we're done. Time to eat. So let's take a look at our pulled pork. Now this is a pork butt. It is a 3-pound pork butt. I'm going to try to fish out my corn first. As you can see, it's down in there, and it's got all the nice juice from the meat, and it's still pretty steamy. And I'm just going to set these on here. I'm going to dunk them up really good so they're good and wet with all that seasoning. And I was actually thinking about making some rice, but then I backed out at the last minute. So I think I have one more piece. There it is in here. Now, what is all in here besides the corn is 1 can of the green chilies and tomatoes with all of the juice. And then, like I said, about 3 good tablespoons of the Mexican seasoning. So that's what's in there right now. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to my corn. I'm going to add a good sprinkling of the Mexican seasoning just because it makes it look pretty. And then they can add whatever else they want. And then I'm going to go ahead and top all of these with the Monterey Jack cheese all over the top. Now you can use queso fresco. You can just put crema. You don't have to put any cheese. But it's a lot of fun to eat. Now they can come along and get their corn, and if they want, they can cut it off the cob and add it to their nachos or whatever. So that's ready to go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, oh my goodness, my grand cat is visiting. And there, oh, he's going crazy. I think he might want outside. So hold on and let me go let him outside and I'll be right back. So here's our pork. And I'm just going to put it in here. I'm going to pull it all out. I probably should have used a slotted spoon. And I thought it would be really good, and we might do it anyway, just for fun. Put about a cup and a half of, a cup maybe of rice in here after I get all the meat out. And then turn on your rice cooker on the front, on your Instant Pot. Of course, you got to put the lid on it, seal it down, turn it on rice cooker, and then just let it cook and absorb all that good juice that's in there. There we go. So now I'm just going to move this out of the way, and then we're going to go to shredding this. So let's go. So all I'm going to do is pull this apart. I'm going to get my fork in here, and I'm going to pull it all apart. See how easy that just shreds right up? It makes nice long shreds. So I'm going to go through that. Doesn't take but a minute. I'm going to do all of it. And then it'll be ready for our nachos. Oh, there's a big piece there. Let's get that out of the way. But it smells wonderful. So, and it's not spicy. This doesn't have a lot of heat to it. You could add heat to it. I think we're good on that. Our nacho meat is ready to go. Now, the next thing I want to do is just a quick mash on our avocados so we can have some little bit of avocado on the top. So we're going to put our knife in here. We're going to swirl it around, all the way around. You can see where I've cut it already once. Then you're going to pop it loose. And then you're going to take your knife and you're going to hit the seed really hard with it. And then it pops loose. There we go. So we're going to score it. And then we're going to scoop it. Now I've already added a little bit of lemon juice. I like lime juice, but I didn't have any lime, so I put lemon, which is fine. And I have a tablespoon of chopped jalapeno, fresh jalapeno in there. So then, and so it's so nice and soft, this avocado. And if I have any big brown spots, I kind of take them off. Sometimes we don't like them and they can have a funny flavor. So take those off, and that's all good. We're just going to get it and smash it all up real good. Now I will add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. I will add some of the Mexican seasoning. Here's Miss Gracie with her allergies coming to see what we're cooking. Some salt. Not too much because I have the secret ingredient. When I want to perk up my lime flavor, this is my secret ingredient I use. And it is lime salt. It's basically, but it's very intense. You don't need a whole lot. So I can sprinkle a little bit of that on there. I might add a little bit over here, just to give it some liminess. And here we go. So, got my big fork over here. And we're going to do this. Just smash it all up real good. Like so. You can see that or not. There we go. And I like mine a little bit chunky. Get it all smashed up. And now I'm going to add some of those tomatoes. You can put fresh tomatoes if you have them, but I don't have any fresh tomatoes today. And so I already opened this can of tomatoes and green chilies, so I'm going to throw some of those in there. The one thing I don't put in here is picante sauce because it has a sweet flavor to it. And I don't like my guacamole having a sweet flavor to it. So there we go. And that is ready. Yum yum. There we go. You could add more spice if you want. leave it more chunky. And the other thing that I do not add to my guacamole is mayonnaise. A lot of people do. They like to put mayonnaise in. It gives it a more creamy texture. But I find that it just makes it a little fatty. And so I don't really care for it that much. So we just do without the mayonnaise. You're welcome to put mayonnaise in if you like that creaminess. So there we go. Now we have all our toppings. So now that I got my tray here and I'm ready to build my nachos, I put a little piece of parchment on here, kind of just helps. I'm going to put a good layer of chips, and then we're going to start building it by adding, here's our layer of chips, adding some melty cheese on there to hold it all together, and then a layer of mild cheddar. Some creamy cheese. Okay. Set that right there. And get my big cheese. Now this is mild cheddar. It's been grated. I'm going to put a good layer on there. I might go ahead and sprinkle me a few beans in there. A little bit of onion. And a couple of jalapenos. Sprinkle those around. There we go. And now we start on the next layer. Now we're going to go back, add more chips. And we want it to be more coming up to the center. All colors. I like these green ones. And then we're going to add another layer of cheese. Okay. Maybe a little bit right there in the corner. And then we're going to add some more cheese. This is a lot of cheese. This is probably enough for 2 people or one hungry person. And then we're going to add, while I'm here, more beans, some little bit of tomatoes, some onions and jalapenos, and I think we got to go one more layer. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of meat in the middle. Not too much because I want to put some on the top and all around the sides. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. Okay. More. See if I got enough melty cheese in here. I might. And I'm just going to put a few on the top, trying to get it kind of tall. You know, so it looks, there we go, that looks pretty good, don't you think? Right there, that looks good. That one right in there, fill that hole up. And we're going to add a little bit of melty cheese. It'll melt again once it gets in the toaster oven. There we go. And my Longhorn cheese, and I'm going to put some all over the top, whatever I got left here. Oh yeah, there we go, that looks really good. Now we're making Volcano. Going to add some more pork right across the top. There we go. Yep. And how about a couple of black beans? And of course we need a little sprinkle of onions right across the top. And some jalapenos. Whoops, that didn't work. Go. And when it comes out, we can put the sour cream and avocado on. So we're good. I'm going to set this aside so I can get into my toaster oven. And I have it set at 400 air fry. So there it is. And you just keep an eye on it until it gets melty. Oops. Going in. And you can do this in your regular oven. You can do it under the broiler. Just turn your temperature to 400. Get it good and hot. Make sure it's good and hot. Keep an eye on it. Rotate it every once in a while so you make sure that it's cooking and everything's getting melty and crispy. So we'll be back in a minute. So here are our nachos. Don't those look good? Yum. Look at those. Nice tall with layers of cheese in there. So there we are with those. And now we got to add our big dob of guacamole right on the top. And then a big dollop of sour cream right next to it. There we go. And then of course, I already put up my servingware and I shouldn't have. We're going to throw a big old piece of corn on the cob right on the edge right there. So there you are. Volcano nachos with guacamole, sour cream, all the toppings ready to go. You can do this. See you next week. Bye.